On this week's Engaging Marketeer podcast, I'm going to talk about something which affects most people, particularly within business and within sales. And it's something I came across again today while I was on a walk around Chester with the Hospice of the Good Shepherd. We did a net walking walk that started at the station tap in Chester and went around the walls, past the canal and across to the the Amphitheatre. Colosseum's a bit ambitious. The Amphitheatre. And as always happens when you walk towards the Amphitheatre, the subject of that great ugly building that's sat on top of the Amphitheatre in Chester came around, and how some people want that building preserved and renovated, and most people, myself included, want it raised to the ground so that we can actually uncover the other half of the amphitheatre underneath it and have what I think would be the only full, complete amphitheatre in the UK. And one of the reasons given for not knocking this ugly ass building down that's on top of it is that we don't know if there's any part of the amphitheatre still underneath it to renovate. It might not be there. And that is a limiting belief. And that is what I want to talk about, limiting beliefs. So someone is saying that it might not be there, so we don't want to do it. It's like, well, no, it might not be. But then it might be. You're putting your own thoughts on something that you can't control, something that you're not aware of, and you're using that as a reason not to do something. And that is completely the wrong way to do it. It could be there, even if there's nothing underneath it, if it's been completely gone after, 1,800 years, then the space could be rebuilt into the new amphitheatre. It could be restored. Something could be put in its place that restored the amphitheatre to its former glory, instead of having half of it covered by a building which is now derelict. It's a limiting belief. And we have limiting beliefs in every aspect of our business. Commonly within sales, I didn't ask that person if they wanted to be a client because I didn't think they had the money. That's my limiting belief on them. I don't think that they can afford it, therefore I didn't ask them. I think it's too expensive. I think our product, our service costs too much. I don't think they're going to like the price. I don't think they're going to be able to pay for it. That's a limiting belief. And if you put that on someone else, if you use your limiting belief on someone else, then obviously it's not going to work. I didn't try and sell it to them because I didn't think they'd want it. That's a limiting belief. I didn't invite that person to my networking meeting because I didn't think they'd join. That's a limiting belief. And we have it all the time. And what you need to do is get rid of that limiting belief. Stop putting your own preconceptions on other situations because it is going to prevent you from being successful. And it is in every walk of life. It is in every aspect. It's not just business. It's not just in sales. It could be, I didn't ask that girl out because I thought she would say no. That's a limiting belief. If you don't ask, she's not going to be able to get the opportunity to say no. She's not going to get the chance to say no because you've already made your mind up that that is what is going to happen. Therefore, you don't do it. Therefore, you've put a limiting belief in the way of something being successful. It could be, I'm not going to try and start my own business because I don't think it's going to work. That's a limiting belief. And when it's really dangerous when other people put their limiting beliefs on you and it prevents you from doing something. Now, this comes into another podcast I've done not so long ago, which is about taking advice effectively from idiots, taking advice from morons that have no idea what they're talking about. It's about, when you get those guys in the pub that say, oh, don't start your own business because it's not going to be successful. It's not going to work for you. Oh, you're going to fail at that. Why don't you just get a job like they have? Why don't you get a 9-to-5 so that you don't have the stress of working on a business, outside your normal working hours? You're never going to be successful with that. You're never going to make it work. It's you. It's not going to happen. That's a limiting belief. And we take limiting beliefs from others and put them into our own walk of life. So if we're looking at starting a business, quite often we'll take advice from people that we know. It could be our family, it could be our friends, and they haven't had a business themselves, and they're going to say, don't do it, it's too risky. Why don't you get a job? That is a limiting belief, and it stops you doing something because you're listening to the advice from somebody who's got no idea what they're talking about. You're using their limiting belief, and it's basically ruining your life. Limiting beliefs affect us in every aspect. So it's a very short podcast today. It's a very short one because I think it's just something that's very easy to overcome. It's very easy to get out of the way. Once you can identify it, you know to not do it. Think, whenever you refrain from doing something because you're not sure it's the right thing to do for them, limiting belief. Limiting belief. We did it. Oh, I said it was a short podcast. It's not a short podcast, actually, because there's another example for this. We were going to do a large promotion for our networking group, and we were going to invite former members to our networking group, former members from BNI Chester, and these members were from since BNI Chester started. So we're in 2025 now. So this is being recorded on the 11th of July, 2025. And BNI Chester started around about 2000, I think. So it's probably been going about 25 years, which is a long time. And what we were going to do was to have a reunion, a Chester BNI reunion. So we were going to get all the ex-members from the group invited to come back to a reunion. And we were going to do it devoid of category clashes as well. So there'd have been other web designers in the room. There would have been other accountants. There would have been other financial advisors. It's just an idea to get everybody back in, just to see the old faces that they've not seen for a long time, see some new faces, and see how the group has changed. So it's a reunion. I even had the idea of doing like yearbooks so you can see what people looked like back then, that sort of thing. Now, the whole plan was in place. It was all going to work. And then I don't know what happens, but somebody decided not to do it because they thought, well, these ex-members, they're ex-members for a reason. They didn't want to be in BNI anymore, so they're not going to come back, are they? That's a limiting belief. That is a limiting belief that someone has on all of those other people, which is a reason why not to do something. I don't think they're going to come back for a meeting, for a reunion, so let's not do it. How can you know that there's probably 300, 400 people, probably more than that? How can you know that some of these people are not going to come back because that's what you think is going to happen? That is a limiting belief that stopped this from happening. And that's the most recent big example I can think of for this. Don't put your own limiting belief on other people. Don't think that something isn't going to work because you're not sure other people are going to go for it. That is a limiting belief, and it'll stop you doing business. It'll stop you doing events. It'll stop you asking people out. It'll stop you inviting people to events. It'll stop anything which involves you making a change, anything which involves you making a decision which is going to make things different. Limiting belief. Be aware of it. Don't let it get in your way. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it prevent you from doing the things that you want to do that are going to advance you, that are going to make you more successful. So I don't know if this has been a short podcast now, but we'll find out. And I'll catch you on the next podcast.